Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here. It's such a beautiful, gorgeous spring day here in Massachusetts at the time of this recording. The sun is shining, the peonies are inching taller and taller, the grass is green. I'm so just in my bliss being exactly where I am, and my heart is very full for where I will be in September as well. And isn't it just lovely that we can hold these feelings of satisfaction and also eagerness for more? It's such a beautiful gift that we get to have and that we get to experience. So I hope you are finding ways to do that as well. And when I am referencing September, it's because that's when I will be back in France. I have a trip to Paris that is for couples. And just so you know, even if that's not your partner in life, you can bring your partner in crime. So it's really anyone that you would be sharing a hotel room with, you can bring them. They can be your plus one for this fabulous adventure. And we are going to do so many amazing things on that trip. We'll be doing a baking class with Molly Wilkinson in her fabulous Versailles apartment. We will be doing a walking tour with Claudine Hemingway. We're going to be pickers for a day at this beautiful small champagne producer with Cynthia with Delectables. And we are also going to do a market Rue Claire tour and cooking class with Veronique from Cuisine Elegante. And I have been in her gorgeous Parisian apartment cooking 3 times before with clients, and it's so dreamy and so fabulous. And I'm so excited to be doing it again. And I'm so thrilled that she is our guest today on the podcast. So I'm really looking forward to having you hear about her beautiful offers. And if you're not joining me September 14th through the 19th, that you will definitely put that on your list for the next time you're in Paris. But let me tell you a little bit about Veronique Bawol. She is the founder of Cuisine Elegante. She was introduced to classic French cooking at an early age in her family's kitchen. She was especially inspired by her grandmother, who worked as the personal cook for Jacques Tréfouël, the head of the Pasteur Institute. She started taking classes at Le Cordon Bleu in London, where she lived for 4 years. Given her background, she is well-versed in classic French dishes and loves creating modern variations. Veronique is married to an American and fluent in English and has 2 daughters. Her family life and international community provide her with a deep understanding of the culinary experiences sought after by visitors to Paris. She offers unique cooking experiences, a range of bespoke services, including private cooking classes, followed by lunch, personal food and market tours. And she even does some catering for small receptions and creating memorable meals for dinner parties. You guys, she's so fun. She makes it look effortless. We get to peek around her beautiful apartment in Paris with a glass of champagne in our hand. It's dreamy, dreamy, dream. And I can't wait for you to get to know her a little better during this conversation. Beautiful Veronique. I am so happy to see your face. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Wendy.
I know this is very exclusive. You don't do many of these, so thank you. I feel so honored.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's the second one. The first podcast I've done was with Crystal Kennedan, perhaps you know.
Yes.
And that's it, Yeah, I rarely speak or have like video about myself. I don't really like it. So,
Well, I appreciate you stepping outside of your comfort zone to
exactly.
share your beautiful brilliance with our listeners because time with you is such a gift. And even though you are showing us a new skill and giving us a picture of what your day to day life looks like, your presence and your conversation makes it so much more enjoyable than that delicious peach soup that we made the last time I was there, which was very, very good. But you are still better than that.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, it's for me, first of all, an honor to talk to you because it's so rare and it's lovely. I'm so excited to see you very soon again
Yes.
with some of your clients. And yes, so maybe you want me to talk about my day, my classical day when I host clients. So basically, I need before everyone that I'm picking up or Leclerc, which is I think what we're going to do, or an open
Yes.
market when it's the day. I need to have everything ready in the house, of course. For me, it's super important to have a perfect cleaning home because every day, sometimes I do receive, like especially on high season. So we're basically going to Leclerc and we're meeting my butcher. Then we go to get the lovely vegetable to my place, my favorite place. And then we go and pick up some cheese and the bread. And then we're coming home, all in the kitchen. And we're just enjoying, talking, cooking. Everybody is doing something. I'm just watching. I'm just telling you what to do. I'm guiding you, but I'm trying to make a French classic easy thing so like that you can replicate at home. This is super important. Um, and then we're having champagne, of course, afterward. And then we're sitting down in the dining room and enjoy the fruit of our labor and having a lot of fun conversation. And it's just the way it is. So we're like basically 5 hours together, or sometimes more, because people are happy to be here and stay here and ask questions about lifestyle in Paris and what do I eat? That's the most question of the moment. It's very funny. I had like perhaps like 6 or 7 events recently, and they say, "But do you eat like that? How come you're not fat eating like that every day? And what do you eat normally in a normal day if you don't have a cooking class?" So it's funny. So very food oriented conversation, but also lifestyle and restaurant ideas and what's fun for me as a French to do as well. And voila.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you for walking us through that. I was completely transported. I've had the beautiful opportunity to be with you 3 times,
Yes,
and it's just such a dream. And to see other women that I know that have started leading trips and they're bringing people to you, which is so
sure.
fun. I love that.
No.
It's amazing. So how did you get started? Obviously, this is how you were living your life and going to the market and then coming back and cooking for your family and for your friends and yourself. So, how did this start into something that you were inviting others into?
Yeah, so I started my business about, in 2010, basically. So I was raised by my grandparents until age 6, and my grandma was a cook. a personal cook, and my grandfather was a gardener. And on the other side of my family, my grandparents were farmer. My father is a hunter. So we all like grew up into among like good food, always fantastic veggies, fruits. And when it was like, hunting season, we had a lot of birds, and mom is an amazing cook as well. So, yeah, so, I mean, it was like obvious basically. Then one day I would do that because we, with my sister, cooked at a young age as well and helped my mom or my grandma at a very young age. So, anyway, that was not what I was doing. Of course, at the beginning, I was working in a television production company when I started working. And I met my husband. That's 30 years ago when I was working in a production company. Yeah, he was a producer. And then, we married in 1998 and I moved to London. And then I was like having a little baby, Laura, who was born in England. And then I was like, what I am going to do, really, I can't just take care of my baby. I love her, but I wanted to do something fun. So it was obvious for me to take a cooking class. So I did at the Cordon Bleu. I took many weeks of cooking class just because it was like a real passion and I knew that's something I would enjoy. And so we did bring back systematically the food at home and enjoying the food. We always received friends, my home was always open when because we were going back and forth between Paris and London. So we used to have a pied-à-terre in Paris and always had like big parties, always having like, 30 people living Rue Montorgueil in Paris. I don't know if you know Rue Montorgueil. Oh, you must go if you haven't been, but it's like a mini Rue Claire where I'm going to take you in October. And it's a very special place. So we used to pop down the street and get, chicken, duck, pate, make a big salad, go and get a huge plate of cheese. They were the guy who used to open oyster for us. Anyway, always, every weekend we used to party. And I felt I definitely knew that that's something I love to do, like cooking. Hosting was like an evidence for me. So when we moved back to Paris, I started to do catering for the American Church, American Cathedral, American Friends of the Musée d'Orsay. And then I started to do cooking class for an American association of expat women called American Women's Group in Paris. And I did work with them for 10 years. And I used to be VP membership, but also I used to teach cooking and did, once or twice a month cooking class for them. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to do that. This is really something I enjoy. And I started to have a lot of demand, lots of catering, but I couldn't because my kitchen was too small. So 10 years ago, I moved where, the apartments.
So beautiful.
On Sport de la Tour Maubourg. And that's where I started my cooking class, really. So that's really when I started. And I met Crystal Kenny at the American Women's Group in Paris. And she said, oh, come on, you should do something. You should create your company. And she definitely boosted me and encouraged me. And I've met so many women who said the same, said, go for it, you can do it. And yes, I did it.
That's a beautiful yes. I love that. Before, I have so many questions about that, but it's just reminding me of our conversation before I hit record of you weren't sure how to answer the question, how are you saying yes to yourself in the season? And sometimes it's because we're not saying yes, right? And that question is hard to answer because it's been a while. And then sometimes it's easy to answer because someone just wrote a book or they've got something new that they're starting. But I feel like what we dialed down for you is that you live a life of yes.
Yes, definitely. It's a everyday yes for me, really. So maybe that's why when I asked you that question, it was like, okay, what can I say? Yes, but I said yes every day. I say yes to my clients. I rarely say no. I always find a solution and a compromise. Sometimes I do evening cooking classes because they're not available, around lunchtime. because I wanted to make them happy.
I
So
love
voilà.
that. And you do make them
I
happy.
do.
It's so dreamy and your home is inviting and you are so hospitable and people are learning a wonderful thing. And you're right, it seems simple. You don't need any technical background in cooking to take your
No.
classes, and everything is unbelievably delicious. It's
Yes,
so
thank
fun.
you.
How are you finding clients? I met
Yes,
you through Mimi and Crystal and Molly
exactly.
and
Exactly.
Beta. So,
Yes.
but how do people that I don't know find you?
Yes, so the people, they basically type cooking class in Paris in their computer, and then I appear to be number 5. So I'm very happy about that.
Ooh, amazing.
Yes. And but uh, being like cooking and hosting in a private home, I think I'm one of the only, and French, I'm definitely one of the only. So I think people enjoy that as well, having someone French, the typical Parisian. It's quite
Right.
fun, I guess. A bit different, and the attitude. I know they like it. The way I interact when I go to the butcher, or get my fruit and veggies is fun for them to watch.
Yes.
Um, so they find me through Google. They find me through Instagram. Word of mouth works extremely well. I mean, I would say that's like probably 30% of my clientele
Mhm.
now. And also people like you who come back, every year, or people like you who have who give the idea and say, oh my gosh, what you're doing is amazing. I wish I could do that one day. And one day they do it as well. So it's
Yes.
so wonderful. I do work with a lot of ladies like that, like you, who start those kind of curating tour or retreat, and it's just, you guys make dream people as well, like I do, which is so wonderful. And I think that's about it. Yeah, Google, Insta, and of course I do have a lot of travel agents all over America or in France as well, who find me basically like small DMC, you know.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that's an over like 30%. Yeah. So it's
Oh, that's
working.
so wonderful. Right.
Yes.
The thing that I love most besides Fabulous You is the fact that our groups are small enough that we can
Yes.
be in your home and we
Yes.
can be in Molly's apartment in Versailles and
Yes.
we can be in
Exactly.
Cynthia's apartment with Delectables. So
Yeah.
because when we're walking around, of course, we're enjoying the beautiful sights and the gorgeous architecture, but we're women. We want to see what's
Yeah.
inside there. So it's so
Exactly.
fun to have the opportunity to go and up your beautiful staircase. And
True.
it's just dreamy. I love it
Yeah.
so much.
That's true. That's what people said. They say we're so lucky to be able to get into those apartments, because we're always wondering, what does it look inside? Because we're staying in an hotel. So we'd love to see what it looks like. And many people have no idea that they actually will enter in my home. They think it's like a real like cooking school in the basement or whatever. And I'm like, oh, no, it's in my home. Oh, really? Oh, are we going to go to your apartment? Oh, no, it's fun, and it's brilliant as well for family with children, because if they don't want to cook for an hour, they can, come in the sofa and watch, their own little fun or whatever, and or rest. Sometimes I do have like little kids, with the parents, and I ask them because I know in some cooking school, it's not before 12
Mm,
years old, which I think is a shame, because I really do think like, some young kids can do amazing. And for me, it's super important because I grew up with my grandparents, and I was there always in the kitchen. And I think that's when you learn,
yes.
at a young age, by watching and by helping. This is fantastic. It's a privilege. It really is. And, in France, it's so important. We love that.
Yes. Yes. I love that reminder about you starting when you were so young. It's so interesting because of the way my life turned out and
I know.
my long road to becoming a mother. I am in my mid 50s. I have a 10-year-old. And so to be listening to my clients who may have had to do quite a jump mentally to say yes to themselves to go on this trip, and to be in a place where, you know, their kids have left for college and they're now looking to kind of reinvent themselves.
Sure.
And sometimes the idea of a life coach or somebody that's helping them move through that time in their life is to think back. Think back on what you did when you were young, when you were 7, 8, 9, and what did you love to do? And how did you lose time doing it? And then recreate that now in your life as much as you can. And I'm finding it so interesting to hear that in one side of my, you know, one ear are my clients that are reinventing themselves back to what they like to do when they were young. And then on the other side, having Amelia and seeing how the opportunities for her to be creative and to be expressive with any art form or being outdoors, or, you know, obviously her fashion design and all of those beautiful things. As she continues on through school, those windows get smaller and smaller in the school day to be creative. So I feel like I'm watching it happen in real time for her and thinking ahead to the conversations I'm having with my clients and thinking, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, okay, I want to make sure that I'm really holding the door wide open for her so she
Yeah.
doesn't lose that she has
Yeah.
now, and then she has to go find it when
Yeah.
she's in her 50s
I know.
again. So I'm finding that to be such a gift of this situation, and also to really be intentional about continuing to hold space for her to do
Yes.
what she loves and not have that be something you just do on the side.
Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, you're handling the situation incredibly well, and congratulations for that. Because my girls are now 22 and 25 soon, and they left the nest. And for Laura 7 years ago, and for Charlotte 5 years ago already. Uh, and I was not able to do what you've done
Mm.
when the girls were younger, were your daughter's age, because, well, first of all, we live in an apartment, so it's a little bit difficult, to have people in my kitchen while the girls are home. And so I did wait, then they grew up a little bit more and they understand better. So they could give me space so I could finally host people. But, it was difficult at the beginning. And then they understood and they felt that money needs to find as well herself,
Right.
because I did raise my girls basically since they were born until 15, 16. I was always here until they left age 18 for them. And I stopped working and, to take care of those girls. And I didn't have anything, apart from
Mm.
taking cooking classes and doing volunteer job, basically. But my priority, true, was to take care of those girls. But at the same time, I was like, I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to work again. I wanted to find my way. And honestly, well done for you because you did amazing. And I'm so happy because I did it as well. And I'm so
Yes.
proud of what I achieved,
Yes.
because it takes time, it takes time. And sometimes it takes more time to some people than some other. I did really started very slowly, very progressively, by respect as well for the girls who were at home with my husband, obviously, I couldn't tell the girl, well, I'm sorry, you can't have breakfast because I have a cooking class this morning. Have your breakfast in your bedroom. I'm sorry,
Right.
that's the way it is. Because, my floor is white. So each time, we start to walk up, it's dirty. So, and, I'm very perfectionist. I want everything nice and clean. So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
so funny.
so it's just brilliant the way it turned. And I'm so happy that I got something fun to do and make happy people and make me very happy too as well. And that's so essential, to get up every morning and to say, yes, I'm so excited to meet my new clients today. Where do they come from? America. Where about? I don't know. So, but it's just brilliant. Yeah, it's a fun,
Oh, I love it.
fun job.
You do. And your joy in doing it is so evident to the people that are in your home. And I'm sure to everyone listening, they're all checking their calendars of when they can come see you. How is it as you're getting ready for the Olympics? Are you busy? Are you staying in town? Are you leaving? What's your plan?
Well, so that's a big interrogation point
Is
because
it?
yeah, it's not, I don't know if it's going to be a mess or not. I have no idea. So if you listen to the French, obviously they say it's going to be a huge mess because the way the French are, they're very negative. They think everything is impossible. That's the French
Yes.
attitude, right? So now I am not like that. I'm trying to think positive. I'm hoping that I'm going to have some clients. It's a very shy. The hotel are not full because the price are very expensive. Now, the new thing since last week is that we need a QR code to be able to travel in the sensitive zone or close to museum or near my area, which is like, Eiffel Tower, the River
Right.
Seine. Everybody, even resident like us, will need a QR code. Basically, they will ask you. So the platform will be ready mid-May. And then as soon as you go to France for the Olympic game or around the Olympic game as well, because that QR code will have to be effective a week before the Olympic Games. So basically by the 15th of July. So anybody who will come before the 15th of July will need a QR code, which is going to be like the COVID time. Do you remember?
Yes, I
We
do.
we needed a QR code. So they
Right.
know how to do it. So it's going to be okay. It's just a matter of time. But for me, right now, no, it's not busy because, a lot of people are like, thinking, is it going to be secure? Are we going to be able to go to, nearby the site, even though if we don't have tickets? A lot of people asking questions. And we don't know exactly yet, but I'm sure everything would be okay. I mean, we're 100 days. So I am very busy until end of June, and then it starts again beginning of September. For now, July and August is super quiet. So
Okay.
usually August is quiet for me because I go on vacation.
Right.
But I decided to stay for the tourist meeting Paris. So I hope I'm going to have few customers, because
Right.
it'll be fun anyway. It will be a lot of like craziness, all around Paris. A lot of like, people on the street, like the Rugby World Cup we had like, years ago. That was so much fun, So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. But I don't know what to look forward really.
Right, right. Well, I will send
Yeah,
everyone your way if anyone is
go on.
planning to go and they're going to be there in July or August. It would be amazing to add on your beautiful experience. When I was there last year, there were so much scaffolding and repairing of things. So how does the city look? Is it getting a facelift? What's happening?
She still is very messy. Can you believe it? Yeah, no, it's a. There is not as much scaffolding right now, but now they're building scaffolding or like huge tribune, all over
Oh,
Paris for zone for for people who will assist to the Olympic game
oh,
all over
sure.
Paris.
Okay.
So there is like a huge one right now on near the Eiffel Tower on the Champ de Mars. There is another one near Hôtel de Ville,
Mhm.
which is the Mairie of Paris, the main one. There is one on Concorde. we'll have one on Invalide. I mean, it's going to be all over. So there is like huge installation
Okay.
for the people to see the games, you know, because I mean, half of the competition is happening in Paris, you know, and, you know, the opening ceremony is happening on the river sand. So there is so we'll have a lot of security and yeah, they're
Wow.
expecting a lot of security, like, you know, 30,000 cops, you know, and even more for the day of the ceremony. So in terms of security, we will be fine, you know, that's for
Yes.
sure. So there is no fear of whatever.
No, no, no.
But yeah, for now, it still is very messy. The ground is messy because they're like, you know, working on electrical and like transition
Mm,
ecological as well for the light, for the gas, for everything. So no, it's a bit of a mess. So, but not everywhere. My street is super quiet, obviously, and lots of area of Paris is quiet and fine and all nice. But it's getting there, but it takes time. You know, everything
right.
takes time.
Yes, it
Mm-hmm.
does. And people, you just
Yes.
come in and you're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
amazing. They had this and this, but
Yeah.
you sometimes forget, oh, they were digging up people's streets for
Yes.
weeks in
I know.
preparation for this. So,
Yeah, yeah,
oh my
exactly.
goodness.
But when you come, it'll be all beautiful and clean. So perfect. Good timing.
I feel like anytime I go, it's going to be beautiful and clean because that's what
It
I
is.
choose to see. I love
Exactly.
it in January. I love it in the summer. It
Oh,
doesn't
it's
matter to me
lovely.
when I'm there. I'm just happy to
Yeah,
be there.
exactly. But it's the same thing for all the customer I'm having. They're like
Mhm.
so in love and so happy to be here because Paris is a dream and Paris is beautiful. We
Yes.
should not forget that, definitely.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for your time, Veronique. I loved this
You're welcome.
conversation. I always love seeing you. Tell
Thank
everyone where
you,
they can
Mosi.
find and follow you.
Yes, they can find me on cuisine.elegante. That's on my Instagram mostly. And then there is a link in bio for my website over there.
Perfect. Thank you. And I've noticed you're doing a little TikTok business.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was because I had a lovely intern and I didn't know what to do with her. So she said, oh, maybe I should do a few classes on TikTok. I'm like, okay, let's try it. But that was like, yeah, exactly a very short, I stopped it. I don't have
Yeah.
really more time for that, but it was a
Right.
fun experience. Definitely. Maybe I should do something similar when I will have a quieter time. You know,
Right.
now it's
Right.
not the case.
No. Oh, well, thank you so much. We will link everything down below in the show
Yes.
notes so people can
Thank
connect with
you.
you. And I'm so
Thank
excited to
you.
see you in September.
Moi aussi. Have a beautiful summer. Lots of love.
Right back
Bye
at you. A
bye.
bientôt.
À très bientôt. Bisous.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.